Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. My name is Donnie, and for today we're going to show you how you can use Excel's pivot table to create a trial balance, or specifically an unadjusted trial balance. So the goal of this financial report or tool is to identify whether your debit accounts and your credit accounts are balanced or the same amount, and you can simply use pivot tables to do this kind of report. So the thing is that you have to make sure that your data, your journal entries are arranged in such a way that you can use pivot table like this. So this is the suggested format that you want to do in your journal entry so that you can easily use pivot tables. And let me emphasize how this format of data will be super helpful if you're going to use pivot tables entirely in creating your financial reports. So if your main problem is that your data is messy, well, you need to do something about that and make sure that your journal entries are arranged in a way that is easy to convert into a pivot table report. So here we have the transaction dates, which we may use later in income statements. We have the account code, which is a code that you identify or you use for the accounts. Of course, you have the account name, super important in these reports. Then you have the section name or statement section wherein it identifies whether these are assets, equities, or liabilities. This is important if you're going to create a balance sheet later. Your subsections, whether these are current assets or non-current assets, things like that. And another important one, and this is how your journal entries should look like at this point, is that you have a separate column for debit and a separate column for credit. If your data doesn't show this way, then you may want to format your data this way, because of course you cannot really put too much logic to that. It really depends on whether that account, that entry was debit or credit, so you just have to do this yourself. And then you have your balance sheet amount, which we will discuss later in another video when we are going to discuss balance sheets. And next is the description, which is, well, optional in this kind of reports. So to start, now that we have the data prompted ready, so I'm going to start a pivot table. So all you have to do is click on any one cell within the range of cells. Do not click outside, just click inside. Then you have to go to insert, and then under insert on the leftmost part, you should see there pivot table. So once you have the pivot table pop-up show up, you will see here that I have the table name balance sheet data. This is the name of the table that I have over here. In your case, this may refer to the cell address of the range of cells. So if you're not converted to a table yet, it should say A1 to J something, or whatever the data range of your table is. And then you have to decide whether you want a new worksheet or existing worksheet. It's really totally up to you. New worksheet would create a new tab. Existing worksheet means you have to select any one of the cells, like in any one of your existing sheets, and the pivot table will show up there. Personally, I prefer new worksheet so that it's not cluttered. And then there's a checkbox over here, the one that says add this to the data model. Keep this unchecked unless you're using Power Pivot, okay, in your report. So in this case, I'm going to click new worksheet and click OK. And with that, we now have our blank pivot table, and we're going to bring in data into our report. So in this case, we have the fields over here. Those are from our data. So the first thing that I'm going to bring in my pivot table is going to be the account names, of course. So I'm going to drag the account name and put them in the rows area of my pivot table. Take note that you can use the dragging technique like that, like what I did. I just hovered my mouse over the word account name and then drag over here in the rows area. You can also use the check technique, the checkbox technique we're in. Let me just remove this first. You're just going to check this one, because if the column or the field is a text column, then pivot tables will automatically send them to the rows area. So if I check this, it will also automatically go there anyway. So in my case, I'm going to bring in the account name. And now I have the account names in the rows area. And by the way, if you made a mistake in dragging fields, you simply have to drag the field outside of the areas. If, let's say, instead of making a mistake, you drag the field in the wrong area, then you can simply drag it back to where it should be. So in this case, it has to be in the rows area. And then finally, we're going to bring in the amounts. So for the amounts, first we have the debit. So we're going to bring in the debit column in the values area because of course this is a number, so it has to go here. Take note that you can also use the checkbox technique in this case because it's a column containing numbers, so pivot table will automatically identify that as a values field and will place it in the values area. And with this, we now have the debit column, and next we're going to bring in the credit column. So for that, we're going to bring in credit and drag it over here in the values area as well. So this will be the second column of our pivot table. So the arrangement of the values here, debit, credit, reflects how the data is arranged in my table. So I have debit on the left side and credit on the right side. That is because I placed debit first and then credit over here as next. And as you could see, we now have the balance sheet of our the trial balance, wherein we can see that the debit amount is the same as the credit amount. So we have successfully identified that the debit amounts are the same total as the credit amounts. But take note that if you're going to present a trial balance, you have to arrange it based on the not alphabetical like this, but based on the account type. So in this case, we're going to arrange it according to the chart of accounts. So for example, in most cases, we have to put the cash first and then the accounts receivable next and the inventory next and so on. So in this case, since it's technically like a forced way to sort data, it's not alphabetical, it's not according to the number, you just have to force it that way. So we have to just right click on the first value, which in this case, cash, and then once you right click on it, you should see there an option to move it. So it says here move, and then you now have the option to move that item into the beginning or do it one by clicking the up button. So in this case, I want it to go all the way up. So I should be happy with just saying here, move cash to beginning. And as you could see, the pivot table arranged itself, okay, by putting the cash on the beginning of the items. Another way to do that is using the move up. So in this case, let's say that I'm going to bring the accounts receivable as the second entry. So I'm going to right click on the account receivable. And then you can also use, instead of move accounts receivable to the beginning, you can just say move up. So it goes one cell upwards. And that's exactly what we need. Another technique, if you want to rearrange the data in your items, is that you can click the item that you want to position. And instead of right clicking on it, you drag on the side. Take note, drag the side lines, not the corners. Dragging the corners will create new items, which we do not want and actually quite lengthy to fix. So instead, you drag the side of the cell and drag it. As you can see, there's a line now showing up, and you drag it to the position where you want it to be. So in this case, I want it to be the third entry in my trial balance. So take note, dragging things doesn't affect the totals. It's just really for how you want the data to be arranged. And you can keep doing this until you get the desired arrangement of your accounts. And with that, we showed you how you can use pivot tables to create a trial balance. In the next video, we're going to show you how you can use the same data in creating balance sheets. But for now, if you have any questions, feel free to use the comment section. And if this video helped you at some way, we would appreciate a like and subscribe in the channel. It really helps the algorithm and it really inspires us to create more videos for you. For now, that's it, and I'll see you in the next video.